Have you ran to the Dollar Tree lately to get window clings? If you haven't, today's video is going to make you want to get in your car and go there right now. Today's video is full of Dollar Tree window cling DIYs. I'm super excited to share with you these projects. I know you're going to want to make them yourself. So let's jump into the video and check out what I created for you guys this week. For this project, we're going to make a pumpkin spice sign, and we're going to start out with just a piece of wood I had that I picked up at the DI up in Utah. I'm just going to cover it with some white Waverly chalk paint, and then I picked up this window cling set at the Dollar Tree. I got these last year, but they have several sets of window clings out this year that you can go and check out. I'm just going to cut out the words that were on this one. So it says, "Home is where you smell pumpkin spice." I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on with some Mod Podge, and I just put it off to the left of the sign. So then I'm going to take this pumpkin. It's a wooden pumpkin from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to remove all of the pieces, and then I'm going to start staining it. So this video, I'm going to do a lot of staining with paint and water, and this is just brown acrylic paint that I add water to, and then it works really nicely as a stain. So I'm just going to go ahead and start painting that on, and I'm going to paint it on into the middle part of this, and then on the outer part. This sign has some of the raised wooden pieces. If you can't find this sign, they have plenty of choices at the Dollar Tree for wooden pumpkins, and any of those wooden pumpkins would work great here. I'm just using some orange acrylic paint now that I added water to, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it on. This gives it a really fun watercolor look, and it just looks a lot more fun than regular paint. You don't necessarily have to do any dry brushing over it unless you choose to do that. So once I get these particular middle pieces painted, I go ahead and let the whole thing dry, and then we're ready to add a bow. So we're going to add a shabby bow up at the top, and this is just some leftover fabric and some leftover jeans that I've had in my stash. I went ahead and made a little shabby bow, and I'm going to use my hot glue gun and attach that up at the top. So I love to use all kinds of leftover materials to make these bows. I've used sheets that I've gotten at garage sales and things like sheets that we didn't want anymore. I've used fabric and jeans, so just about anything you can make that you can rip apart and get a shabby look works really well. I've really been enjoying the jeans and have been incorporating them a lot in my DIYs. If you want to see the first video that I made with jeans, I will link that down in my description box. So now we are ready to attach our pumpkin to the sign, and we're just going to use some hot glue and attach it to the right side of the pumpkin. This was super easy, and here it is styled in some decor.
You can't turn the tide, let the water go where it wants to go.
For this project, we're going to make a pumpkin pie sign, and I just thought this turned out so adorable. So I took one of those pieces of wood that they sell in the Crafter Square area. I'm just using my brown acrylic paint and water again, and we're going to paint it all over the front of the sign and the back of the sign. This gives it such a fun stained look for an inexpensive price. Then I'm going to take the pumpkin pie pieces from that same window cling set, and they are strung together as a garland. I think that's so adorable. We're just going to use some Mod Podge and apply the Mod Podge to the back of this window cling and stick it on to this piece of wood. So once we get that glued onto the piece of wood, I took another shabby bow, and this just had some, again, leftover fabric and jeans. I tied them together to make a bow, and then I'm just going to hot glue that to the left-hand side, and here it is styled in some decor.
You can bury yourself beneath the stones. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice.
You know what time it is? It's time to hit the like button. If you're feeling inspired or just loving today's projects, it would help my channel immensely if you went down, hit the like button. It helps my channel be seen by other people. For this one, we're going to make a sweeter than pumpkin pie sign, and this is like the easiest DIY I have probably ever done. I'm going to take this round circle. I've used the cup out of this set in a previous DIY, and this wood round came from Hobby Lobby. I'm not going to paint it or anything. I really liked the way this looked with just the wooden piece. So all I'm going to do is add some Mod Podge to the back of our window cling, attach it to our wooden piece, and this DIY is complete. Like I said, it's so easy, it's almost hard to call it a DIY. If you love farmhouse DIYs and shabby chic DIYs, then this is a channel for you. I combine them together and I make what I like to call shabby farmhouse. So hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video, and let's get back to the DIYs. For this project, we're going to make a stacked pumpkin sign, and we're first going to take a piece of the wood from the crafter square area. This is one of the smaller pieces. It's thinner, it's not quite as wide, but we're going to use the same technique, and we're going to use the brown acrylic paint and give it a good stain. Then we're going to take a package of the pumpkin ornaments that they have, and we're going to use the orange acrylic paint and water and stain those pumpkins, and then we're going to use some white Waverly chalk paint, and we're going to paint each of the pumpkins with some white Waverly chalk paint. Then we're going to use our hot glue, and we're going to stack each one of these pumpkins on top of each other to make kind of like a topiary. So my friend Nadia over at DIY with Nadia, she does amazing wreaths over there, and one of the things that she likes to use is a stir stick, and she creates these really beautiful wreaths out of these stir sticks. So that is what this project was inspired by, one of her stir stick centerpiece ideas. I'm not going to be attaching this to a wreath, but you definitely could use it as a center of a wreath or a door hanger if you chose to do that. So once we get all of the pieces glued on, then we're ready to take our window clings, and we're going to add our window clings to each one of the pumpkins. So this window cling set was also one that I picked up last year. It has some more like pastel-y tones to it, so that's why I kind of liked the watercolor look and the white dry brush over these pumpkins. But I just added several of the smaller window clings to each one of the pumpkins, and I tried to kind of separate the ones that had wording in between ones that were just more of like leaves or something like that, so that it kind of broke up the wording. And then once I got the desired window clings in the places that I wanted them to be, I went ahead and took my Mod Podge and attached them to each of the pumpkin pieces. Then I decided to make a bow here at the top, and I'm using some leftover fabric that came from the Dollar Tree. That is probably my most favorite thing to buy at the Dollar Tree. If you've watched me at all, you know I use fabric just about in every video, and so that is such a steal of a deal to get those fabric pieces at the Dollar Tree. So all I'm doing is I folded these two pieces over to kind of make the tails of a bow, and then I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to use jeans in the middle of this one. I tied it into a shoelace bow, and then I'm just going to hot glue that into the middle of these tassels. So I love to use different textures like jeans and fabric because it just gives it such a fun look, and you get all these different colors and textures that just bring out a really fun detail in the project. So we're just going to hot glue that here to the middle, and here it is, styled in some decor.
And how the wind makes way across the fields. Let me take a breath. Let me be a part of something real. Someone said it's better when.
For this project, project, we're going to make a pumpkin chalkboard sign, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of the orange acrylic paint and some water, and we're going to make that stain again, and we're just going to paint it around all the bare wood parts. So I keep these stains in these little Tupperware containers, and then when I pull them out to use them, I just stir them up with my paintbrush really good before I start using them again. So you can use these several times after you make them. So you don't have to throw them away right after you make it. Then I'm going to put my window cling here in the middle, and it does have some hangover, so I did take my X-Acto knife and cut off some pieces, and then I'm going to add a little jean bow with a button up here in the right hand corner. I do really love how this turned out. However, I think a window cling that has some black in it would look a lot better. The ones that I had didn't fit on here, but then you wouldn't be able to see the outline of the window cling. But here it is, styled in some decor.
We could all use a friend. Don't let your fear subside. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry.
Thank you guys for joining me today. I had so much fun creating these DIYs. I hope you guys have fun recreating them. If you want some more window cling inspiration, check out this video here. And if you just want some more shabby farmhouse fall inspiration, check out this video here. As always, wherever you are in your journey is a perfect place to start. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.